Go
Awesome.
shut that door, Tyler.
Let's see. We're probably going to get a few more, but this is an awesome turnout, especially for end of August when people are putting in their ice or people are on vacation. I wanted to get this going just so we can record it, and then whoever wants to watch it later, they can. They can have access to it because as people are putting in their ice, or if their ice is about to go in or already in, a lot of these new features will be helpful to learn about now as opposed to, oh, it's kind of too late and it's 3 months into the season and they wish they would have known it sooner. So that's why we want to push this meeting. Before I get going and just blabber on, how about we get a little introduction from everybody around the table so people get an idea as to where some of these organizations are from, who's in the room, some of the roles you guys have, how many sheets of ice you use. So let's start. Mike, you're at the top. Let's start with you guys.
All right, Mike Geiler, Ice Operations Director at Advent Health Center Ice in Wesley Chapel, Florida. We're a little bit north of Tampa here. I am flanked by Justin and Tyler, my ice ops guys, and yeah, that's us.
Okay. How many sheets of ice you guys have?
We have five. We have one Olympic, we have three NHL, and we have one studio. So a lot going on here.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing, Mike. Doug,
Yes.
where are you from? Tell us a little bit about the organization. How many sheets of ice you guys have?
I am from Peterborough. I'm the foreman of the Parks and Recreation. And we have one, two, three. We have 5 ice pads in right now, and we're waiting for 2 more to be installed.
Okay, awesome. And do you guys operate the OHL building as well, or is that managed by
Yes.
someone else?
We operate that right now.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing. Next we've got Andrew Clifford, my friend in the States, Montclair, right? I think you're muted, Andrew. We'll wait and see when Andrew joins us. Andrew, you want to go again? Or did Andrew leave?
Hi, Andrew just had to step out for a minute. He'll be back shortly, but here in Grand Valley, we've just got the one ice pad. It's not in right now. It'll be going in early October.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing. Brandon.
How's it going, guys? Sorry, I'm just having my lunch.
No worries.
So I'm out in Ottawa with the Sunsbox. We have 3 facilities, in total 9 pads. I don't know if Scott's in here. He runs one of the facilities. I'm the manager at the other one. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah, no problem.
Next, we've got Graham.
Hey, Zach. Hello, everyone. My name is Graham Hovius. I'm Director of Property Facilities at St. Andrews College in Aurora, Ontario. We have on campus here, we have one arena, one ice surface. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. That's good. That's great. Let's go with Nicholas.
Hey, Nicholas from the Sterling Rodden District Rec Center. We just have the one pad. We're starting the plant up next week, so getting ready for ice install here.
That's perfect. Andrew, I think I missed you, so you want to go again?
Hey, yeah, sorry, I didn't have a mic going earlier, but hi, I'm Andrew Clifford. I'm out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. We have 3 sheets of ice going currently. We actually just put in one more sheet just last week, so we had 2. We usually take out 1 for each summer for roller hockey, but we got all 3 going now.
Wow, awesome. Next we've got Scott.
Scott, City of Wasilla up here in Alaska. We've got a single sheet. I'm the Rec Services Director, and we've been up and running for about a month, and I think we got situated with the Sub-Zero about a week and a half ago, so glad to be here.
Awesome. We're happy to have you, Scott. And Justin, you want to share a little bit about yourself, why you're here, what we're working on doing together? You're muted. There you go.
Guys, Justin Montgomery. I spent about 19 years now with a contractor. I don't currently have any sheets of ice in any facilities, but I'm working with Zach to help get Sub-Zero, the word on Sub-Zero out there to facilities.
That's awesome. I love it. Okay, guys, so let's get going. I want to start by making sure everyone's all on the same page. Some of you are brand spanking new. Some of you have been with us from almost day one. So we're going to try and bring everyone together. So I'll go through what we've got, the new features, what's coming out, what we're working on in the future, some initiatives we have, and then we'll open up this will be probably about half hour or so. And then after a half hour, the last 15 minutes, any questions, comments, last minute training, support you guys need, or just general feedback would be greatly appreciated. So if everyone's okay with that, I'll get started. I'm going to share my screen. Once I share my screen, my audio gets kicked out. So give me a second or two as it connects, but I'll share my screen. Can everyone hear me all right?
Mhm.
Awesome. Okay. So just to bring everyone up to speed, Sub-Zero helps you do all of your ice step checks. So how it started is last year and a half ago, we had a NHL team come to us and say, we want to have a tool to do digital ice step checks. That kind of transformed. We got somebody joining here. That transformed into being a tool within our software called RFAM, kind of to build it out and see what people actually use this. It came to a point where, as you guys can see now from the individuals across North America, we've got tons of rinks. We've got probably about 150 rinks using this now. We just got 2 or 3 signed on today, actually, from the States as well. And it's really started to grow and expand, which warranted building of its own software. So for some of you that have been around from day one, you've seen a lot of changes and you've been patient with us as we built this tool to where it is now and where it'll be on Tuesday, which will share some updates. That'll really take this to the next level. And your patience, your feedback, your usage of the platform is extremely appreciated. So we'll go through kind of what we have. Let me log in first. So how many of you are aware of the new login page to access Sub-Zero, or do all of you still access it from RFAM? How many of you are familiar with this login page right here?
I use
Okay.
that.
Sorry? Okay, so this is
That's the one I use.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So this is the new one that just came out about a month and a half ago or so, or 2 months ago. So now you don't have to log into RFAM, go into the inspections, try and find your ice step check, open it, fill it in, and then go all the way around. Now we have its own dedicated system. So if you guys want the information again following this session, we will share all of it again for everyone to access. But this is just part of that continuous improvements that we're making. Anyways, so your login is the exact same for RFAM. So you're not going to get a new login. You don't have to worry about another username and password. It works the exact same way. You're good to go for both. You can access this on a phone, on a tablet. If I make this small here, there you go. You can see it fits perfectly, ready for you. You log in. This takes you to your homepage. So this here is going to be all of your widgets, all of your reports, all on the main page, kind of showing you what's your average ice thickness, your ice thickness over a period of time, if you have multiple sheets of ice, how many flood cuts have you done in the last month, what's your average water snow consumption. You'll be able to toggle and pick and choose all the different widgets you want. You can put this up on a TV. Done. Right now, we just have it as a placeholder. This is going to make it extremely easy and simple for your staff. They don't have to log into RFAM and again, guess what they need to do. All of their key steps are right here. So the homepage, the dashboard, to access their flood cuts, their ice step checks, their ice resurfacer circle check, their plant readings, we call it performance, but we'll change that. All of your reports, training videos, seeing new features, beta of new features we have coming out, and then to sign out. Everything you need all in one clean spot. Does that look good?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So let's get started first. I'll start with the beta. So this is coming out on Tuesday. We're starting out with the 29 points. You'll have it for 52, 37 points. We're going to do it for curling rinks and Olympic oval skating as well. So this is just a demo. So I'm going to pick a sample area, Acrisure Arena. You'll be able to toggle between all your buildings, toggle between the various ice sheets that you have. Obviously, you'll only be able to toggle for the area that you're a part of. Click start, and it'll pull up that layer for you. Once it pulls it up, you'll know exactly where your ice resurfacer gate is, whether it's Zamboni, Olympia, Engo, or just ice resurfacer gate. The layout provided if you sign that release form from Jet Ice, or if you already have your layout, you click on the first point, and it's going to be even easier because the new version we have, you don't even have to click on the first point. The box automatically opens. So technically you could leave your iPad at the ZAM gate or put it on a belt loop or whatever you want, and it just opens it up automatically. So you connect your caliper. So let me turn it on here. Some of you might not have seen the caliper. So here it is. There's a special button on the side here. You hold it and it turns on a little Bluetooth signal here. Once it's connected, it's going to connect to your device here. Let me show you. Oh, that's just sound, Bluetooth. There you go. So that's connected. The first box will automatically be clicked, so you don't even have to touch anything at all. Drill the ice, stick the caliper in, click the button, done. You walk and you do all of your points. You don't have the diagram on the top and scrolling through a list of 29 points, or you skipped a point or you missed it or whatever. It's all going to be right here, super easy for you to do. So next point, done, opens up the next box. It'll be ready for you before you even walk to the next point. You can skip points if you want, if you're just going to do a few points every day. You press complete, the complete button will be up there. But anyways, there you go. All of your readings, all of your values shown on the rink. You don't have to read messy handwriting of 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches, try and do math in your head. Instantly, it calculates your total average and your variance right there. And across all 4 sheets, you can do ice step checks instantly. Pull it up, finish it, submit, done. And all this gets stored to the cloud to access anywhere. Questions, comments? Looks good. Okay, so our guys tell us this should be ready for Tuesday. They're going to test it on the weekend. I told them I'm going to tell a group of folks that they can start using it next week once the ice is all in. So I will keep you guys updated once this is available. You'll see it here on your menu bar that you can just go and click on new ice step check, open it up, and away you go. And you can be one of the first few people to start using it. Questions, comments so far?
Where can we get the Bluetooth calipers at?
So I can ship them to you. We don't make $1 off it. We just buy it. We either have a distributor or we try and get it off Amazon. We source it for the cheapest price possible. I can send you a link, or if you just say, send me an invoice roughly at max, the most expensive you find this first $200. In the States, sometimes we can source it for like $75, but that's a rough range as to what you're looking for.
Okay, thanks.
Sounds good?
Hey, Zach,
Yes, sir.
you made any progress on the infrared measuring tool?
I wasn't going to bring it up,
Okay,
but
never mind.
no, it's okay. I do have someone doing some research on it. So there's a company that we know, a massive company. They do scientific research and development and building of tools. So I shared with them kind of what we're looking for. So they have their scientists in Germany looking into it. And they're looking at putting it all together. So I don't want to bring it up just because I don't want to get people's hopes up, but they're looking at putting together ice steps, surface temperature, all of that, humidity, whatever, into that one device so that it can grab all those readings at once and pass it. It's a pipe dream until it's done, but that would be pretty cool to have it all in one thing. You go out, you do all your various points and collects all 3 readings at once. So they've been looking into it for the last few weeks. I texted him last week and he said that they are still looking into it. So they have other applications of stuff that's similar. They need to know if there's a market for it, if people actually use it. I said, that's the only thing people always talk about is I'm tired of drilling. I'm tired of drilling. I'm tired of drilling. So, but I'll keep everyone up to date once we hear something solid. Sounds good, Graham?
Sounds good to me. Thank you.
No worries. So that is your ice step check. Done deal. Again, I'll keep you all up to date as to when that's available. The dashboard then passes all of those readings. So this is our old dashboard. We're going to create a new one, but this is still how it works in the meantime. This is the newest user here, Dobson Arena. They just came on board 2 weeks ago. So this is in Vail, Colorado. There's their layer. So imagine having those 29 points and you just click on it right out of your ZAM gate. I'll go from August 1st until today, just for some of you folks who might not be aware of this function or how it works. You click on that point, press submit, and it takes all those readings from the cloud, instantly populates it here on your rink. You can put this up on a TV, on an iPad, on your ZAM. There's all of your scores. Green is between 1.25 inches, 1.75 inches. Purple is over 2 inches. Red is under 1 inch, and you can see all those readings right away. Toggle on and off the colors, print it out, have it all in one spot. Questions, comments? Looks good. Okay. Mike, is this better than what it looked like 2.5 years ago when we first had discussions with Rory?
Yes, it's very interesting to see in the over 2 years how far this has come. Certainly, it does feel like a lot of the issues that we had before in terms of it being cumbersome or you guys have taken some pretty serious steps to alleviate that. The one question that I was going to ask was, excuse me, what is the potential for maybe even adjusting certain spots in terms of where we take the measurements? Because I did notice that there's not a whole lot between the tops of the circles and the blue line, and there's a rink specifically here, one pad that we have where that can become very thin, and we do like to monitor that more than any. So would there be like potential down the road for custom depth points?
So we're already somewhat there. So I forgot to mention, I apologize, 29 is the standard. We also do 37 and 52. So let me pull up an example here for you. So right now, like as of today, tomorrow, you can use those other 3 templates. Let me just, and I apologize, don't want to give anyone a headache as I scroll through. You can see all these rinks and all their logos that we've got here. That's the 29. Bear with me, you guys are seeing some of your own stuff as well. Man, there's like 200 of these here. Here we go. So this is the 52, just as a quick sample, or 50 or 52. This is similar to what you do, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's available. You can start using it. I'm trying to think of someone who does use it. I know a few, the Kraken as an example. So give me let me show someone whose data I'm definitely allowed to use.
And we could use those 50 something points, but not have to use all of them. Like
Correct.
you said, correct? We could just kind of pick and choose.
Yeah. And what we will come out with eventually is the ability for you to build your own custom one. If you want us to build one for you, we can. There might be a cost to build a one-off, but eventually I have where you can just click on your points and say, these are the 15 points I want to check.
Okay.
But at least as a starting point, we've got 52, 37, and 29, and that covers majority of people's needs. Good to proceed? Awesome. So we also have your flood cut logs. So all you got to do is just click on it. Right
Zach,
now,
sorry, Zach, question.
Yep.
When you were showing the thickness levels, is that something that we can also adjust of what we think is thick or thin and kind of play with those triggers?
Good question. So we've been cautious. We've had that question for a year or two now. We're worried that if someone goes in and adjusts it and says thick is 0.75 inches, let's say, and then it goes to court and we get involved because say, well, your software allowed us to change it and we made it that it was okay for the ice to be 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch thick, then we could get into trouble. So we just base it off of the standards from the associations as to 1.25 inches, 1.75 inches is optimal range. But again, you can toggle off and say, I don't want to see the colors and I just want to see the numbers, and then you won't see red or yellow on your rink. But we're cautious of people setting it being okay to be 1/2 inch, and then we have headaches and problems with legal liability. Make sense, Scott?
Yep, understandable. No problem. Thank you.
Okay, of course. And we'll figure stuff out and we can always have conversations about how we move forward. So this is your flood cut log. So now your guys can pull up on a cell phone. It's as easy as I'll do it again. You click on it. If you have multiple buildings, it's ice step checks. Flood cut log, Dobson Arena. There you go. here it is. This is them pulling it up on a cell phone, so it's a little bit smaller than a cell phone, but there you go. Scroll down, and you can just fill it in really quickly. Rink A, activity or previous program was public session. Oh, I already clicked on that. Ice surfacer number 1, we only have one. What's the runtime hours? Let's just say 4,000. Battery percentage, 99%, or fuel, almost at 100%. It went down to 89%. How much snow? 5/8. How much water used? 1/4. What type? Flood cut log. Press submit. Done. You just filled in a flood cut log in 2 seconds. You didn't have to go to the book, get a pen, write it down, put your name, find the date. You did it on your phone, saved, stored. Let me show you this guy here. And as of this weekend, we'll have a version of this built inside Sub-Zero. That'll be a nice clean form as well, that we can customize a little bit more. And it'll have a log of all of your information that you can then scroll through and see all of it right there in a clean table. But let me show you, this is really crazy. Ice Complex. So this is Alex. I've never met him before. He's from Georgia. He signed on July 1st. Look at how many flood cut logs he's done in just under 2 months. Let me scroll. So let me just do, I'll show you how many inspections he's done total. 454 inspections in just under 2 months. So he's done like 250 flood cut logs and 250 plant readings and 10 ice step checks. And he's got all this data. He presented it to his board. They said, we love it. Buy the software. You're good to go. I'll show you some of the trends and analytics now you can do, but this is just to show how, if it wasn't user-friendly, he wouldn't be able to use it this much. His guys wouldn't have bought in. Just in under 2 months, the amount of data they can mine from this is insane. So we've also got your plant readings. It's the exact same thing. We will build a version next inside of Sub-Zero that'll be more customized, but you select your ice pad, your temperature, humidity, dew point, inside, outside, water quality, ice plant readings, your compressor runtime hours, glycol brine. People are asking about putting in their oil and discharge and all that. We'll add that, no problem. We just want to start with a simple and clean form for everyone to start using without being too complex. And then as people request that they want 1 or 2 more features, we just add it in. But now everything, again, you can pull it up on a tablet, fill it in, press submit, and we've got tons of powerful reports. So whether you've got building automation or you don't, or you've got some sort of intelligence set up with your plant, you can still log it all in our system and get those same sort of reports and trends that your building automation system that would provide you, which would cost you $250,000 to put in your building. Questions, comments? Okay. Let me show you one or two.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
Zach, if you don't mind, I have a question about the cut
Yeah, Mike.
logs.
Mhm.
So like we could make them individually for the machine that we're using or for the rinks or either or.
So I do it based on the rink because then we can tie everything together. So we can tie
Okay.
together your ice step checks, your plant readings, and your flood cut logs. If you do it based on the machine, then I don't know what rink it's for, and then
Okay.
that kind of separates the data. Makes sense?
And then we could, each one of those rinks would be available from that drop down when we hit the flood cut log there.
Yeah, so I'll show you right now. You just click on it and rank A, B, C, D,
I'll
E,
load it up. Okay.
right? And away you
Yeah.
go. Sounds good?
Yep.
Awesome. Next I'll show you, so I showed you the plant reading. So that's all the stuff we have right now. I'll show you the reports, then I'll show you all the stuff we're working on later. I'll show you reports from wherever I was. Let's do, sorry, give me a sec, because I want to be cautious of whose data that I'm sharing. I did Alex, so let's do trends. Sorry, I don't know why I'm losing my mind here. So average depth report. Let's do compressor hours, water and snow consumption, and then I'll show you performance. 29 points from July 1st till today. I think that's going to go to this. So let's see. Perfect. So this is Alex data. Now you can see his ice thickness on average over the last month and a half. There you go. His ice is about 1 3/4 inches. He can monitor it, track it. we can technically compare all the pads of ice, all the buildings, all the facilities, all in one spot, and see what's the average ice thickness across our 200 rinks that use this system. Who's higher, who's lower, what's the median? If you have professional buildings, like for Peterborough, if you've got a building in the OHL, what's that ice thickness compared to our community rinks? What's the optimal level we want to keep it at, game days versus non-game days? We've got NHL buildings using this. We've got about 7 of them coming on board. One just emailed me this morning saying, hey, I heard about this in the webinar you guys are doing next month. He says, can we schedule a meeting to chat sooner? He says, because I'm interested in potentially using this once we start our season. I don't want to wait till middle of September. So the kind of data and reports and trends you can generate. This one here is also cool. So again, if you don't have this is going to give us a bit of an error. I'll be upfront with you guys because we're just fixing this. Maybe I don't want to show you this one here, but anyways, yeah, you can see where they put in an error, but now they can track it for their compressor hours per day. I'll show you a different customer. How's that? Let's go to, I'll go to my admin one. So this is an AHL building in California where the Coachella Valley Firebirds play out of. Let's do that one. And since I'm here, we'll do all of these actually. And then I'll start closing all these tabs I got open. So you guys can all start using this tomorrow. You have access to it with your subscription. You're ready to go. Pad A, let's go from, so this is where they had I think it's the Calder Cup finals. Let's just go from May 1st until today. I'm gonna have to, oh, perfect. So from logging in that plant form, we can now tell them their average compressor hours per day. Compare this to their ice thickness, compare this to their programming, their usage. There you go. There's those hours. I can go to the next page. Here's their 3 compressors. You can see compressor 1, compressor 2, compressor 3, a 1,500 hour difference. You can see the increase of it. You don't need a crazy expensive building automation system to generate these reports for you, or to sit in front of a spreadsheet all day and punch in numbers. This is really cool. Your runtime hours, because we know your current runtime hours, and after filling in only 2 of these compressor hour logs, the more you fill in, the more accurate it is, but we can then inference what your average hours per day is, and then forecast what your next life cycle event is. So he's got an oil change coming up at 9,000 hours. That's the date he's going to hit 9,000 hours. He's got a top end inspection at 6,000 hours on these 2 machines. That's when they're going to hit it. Forecasting, budget, planning. If you've got multiple plants, multiple compressors, this is very powerful to prepare those capital investments without depending on a contractor to provide that data for you. At the end of the day, it's giving you and your staff self-reliance. Sounds good?
Question, Zach.
Yep.
Regarding specifically the planning of life cycle events for compressors, where do you input that?
In what sense? Sorry.
Like, so when say I have a rebuild on compressor number 2 that I know I have to do next year based on X amount of hours, and then I can plan out from there. Where do you enter that information so that it suits your specific operation?
Okay, so technically right now that all happens in RFAM and the Smart Forecast on the financial side, which I know you guys are using. We might look at putting something here in Sub-Zero, but more of that financial life cycle planning, investments, and budgeting, that is all its own component in as part of RFAM.
Okay, so if I were to go, yep. Right, so if I were to go and say, okay, that compressor, it has X amount of hours on it, the next thing to do is a top end rebuild on it. Am I going into the asset itself and just putting it as a note, or like where am I putting that?
Yeah, so if you go into the asset is the building, then into the piece of equipment, in the Smart Forecast, you'll have a timeline of like 5 or 10 years, well, really as many years as you want. In there, you can put in a budget for whatever that dollar value is you've been quoted, and plug it in there, and then associate that to an event. And then that'll come up in your Excel export or PDF export of your budget plans you provide to directors or council. And I can show you if you want to go offline and chat today or tomorrow, and I can show you exactly how you access that.
Yeah, we can schedule something. That's fine. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. If you want to send me an email too, then we can follow up.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Nick. So from there, so we've got that, that's your compressors, and there's tons more that we'll do with all of that information, your plant readings. We just want to create a simple report to show you what it's capable of. This is from your flood cut logs. So if I go to, I keep showing Acrisure because he started using it day one. What's very cool is that the guy who used Sub-Zero over at Acrisure, he used all of this data and all of these reports and what he'd done since January 1st for a job interview, and he just got the job as the manager of operations at the Utah Hockey Club. So it's really cool to see that, and he just started yesterday, and he texted or called me and said, hey, can we schedule a time to chat about getting this stuff running for him this season. So it's cool seeing the capabilities of this tool and how it's able to elevate each and every one of you and the skills that you have when it comes to ice operations. So let me go here. Let me show you from April 1st until today. This report, you guys take what you want from it. It might be valuable, might not. The data, you might say that's cool, but it's of no value. Some of you might come up with a great idea as to how to use it. From your flood cut logs, we have the rough ideas to the capacity and size of, just for right now, a Zamboni dump tank and the water of wash water, flood water. We can tell you, not the exact gallon, but if you don't have level ice, fast ice, connect, what your water consumption's been. If you don't have a water meter or any of that fancy stuff, just by saying 5/8 tank, quarter tank, 1/8 tank, we can add all that together and tell you month by month what your consumption is in either surface snow or gray snow that you're cutting and water that you're putting down. So you can see over this 4-month period, this rink here has used over 100,000 gallons of water they've technically cut, or snow that they've cut. We've boiled it down to water in a 4-month period. Whether you use this to get credits from the local municipality for water consumption that's going into the drains or into the sewage, sewers, trying to use this for training for your staff to say, hey, this is how many cuts we're doing. You guys are flooding too much. We got to stop doing the double floods every day because we're wasting too much water. Our ice thickness is building up too much. Or comparing, our ice thickness is going up, but our guys are saying they're not putting any water down. Something's got to be off. Maybe they're not putting the information in here accurately. You can use all of this data and compare it and look at this here. So here's all this information. Last month in July, he did 191 cuts for 30,000 gallons of snow, but we boil it down to water. Look at this month here. So last one was 30,000 at 191 cuts. Less cuts, almost double the amount of snow. We're going to tie this and compare it to the programming. So in that month, how much was adult hockey versus public skating versus figure skating, and give you information on, okay, maybe you guys need to flood more for certain ones, or there's more gray snow or surface snow buildup because there's more adult league throughout the season. In the summer, it's more just figure skating and public skating. A lot of cool data that you can then compare in your operations. Looks good, looks valuable. Okay, this is the last report, and then we're going to get into all the new stuff that we'll have, which I know this is probably already overwhelming. So this is your performance reading. This just gives you all of your data in one spot. I got to click on this and my mouse is weird. I'll go from April as well. It'll look a little funny just because a lot of this data he started collecting recently. I was hoping Jedi's would be able to join us today, but they're overseas. We have a partnership with them now, and they're doing a study with TMU on water quality. We just sent out an e-blast on it. We've partnered with them where they're going to do promotion and training on this to all their customers and potentially provide a discount, blah, blah, blah. But they ask that you guys opt in as a Sub-Zero customer to share your data anonymously and aggregately for them to see trends that are going on in the rink industry. All this data is collected on paper or in spreadsheets. It's not standardized. So they don't have access to know really what's the average ice thickness, what's everyone keeping their slab temp at. They know best practice, but they don't have real hard data. So a number of you have already filled out the form and shared it. Thank you very much. There will be an opt-in on the site itself, so you don't have to go through me and talk to me about it. But here's all the kind of data you can now export. So you can have months and weeks worth of data, whether you filled it in, whether you didn't, you can see blanks and stuff here. Don't worry about the errors. And this is exactly what they need. So we can compare a rink in Boston to a rink down in California and see what's their outside temperatures, how does that compare to their compressor hour run times, what's their average supply temp, surface set points, all right there in one spot at an average. And imagine having 10 or 15 buildings right across from North America, having all this data in one spot you can view on one page and then see right away and compare what's going on. So if you folks are open to sharing some of your data as you put your ice back in and you fill out your ice steps, your flood cuts, and your plant readings, that'd be phenomenal. We'd love to have that. Sounds good? Okay, so everything I've shown you so far, you guys have access to, you're ready to go. You can log in tomorrow and start using. If you have questions, just shoot me an email. You can ask me now. We're happy to help and provide any support you need. I don't want to get too in depth, but I'll show you at a quick high level some of the other stuff we have coming out. So as mentioned, we are working on, this is just rough right now, the ability to do this as well if you have a curling club or curling rinks. So doing the exact same, but using an interactive map for curling, for speed skating as well, different rinks, different layouts, also for studio rinks. So Ice America has signed on to use this. They've got about 30 or 40 installations across the states, and they have small pads that they only do about 6 to 9 points of ice step checks for outdoor public skating. That's being built as well. This is cool. I'll show you this before I forget. We are in discussions with Zamboni. We've yet to hear confirmation, so that's why it hasn't been released yet. But we're working on, and I'll wait till it loads here, a 3D Zamboni circle checklist. So if you've got brand new staff, old staff, I don't know what a vertical auger is, I don't know what a board brush is, they can see the picture of it. We can upload your own layouts and graphics, possibly, potentially, and they just click on the point. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of other steps. It's just a simple demo, but it says what the words are, a video from Zamboni, maybe a document you can pull up, press complete, and you can start filling in all these readings. Once you've done this side, you go around to the back, collect the readings on it, the log hours, and you can do an entire ice resurfacer circle check right there on your phone or tablet, not reading a novel on all these different points, seeing it interactive, especially if you've got young kids that do opening and closing checklists every day, it'll make it more appealing for them to want to fill that in for you regularly. Sounds good? Andrew, you're about to mark up the screen.
Sorry.
Sounds good.
With these circle check points here, would there be an option to use like grease fittings for maintenance and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
So the grease point checklist, all of that it's the intelligence is already built there. It's really based off your ice step checks. It's the same idea. We just overlay it over a graphic of a Zamboni or an ice resurfacer. So to the grease point checklist, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and there's so much stuff where you can do with dasher boards and glass checks, and it's endless. Also, on a quick note, without getting too detailed, bear with me. I'll just go from here because it's quick and easy. What we're also working on doing, we're going to start first on the ability to put in your surface temps here as well. So the same points you drill, if you go with your IR gun, collecting those readings, trying to find a Bluetooth temperature humidity gun. I found Bluetooth ones, but they're not like open source. They connect to like a specific company's software product like Uline or someone else. If you guys find something, let me know. That'd be awesome. I think I have it on my desk here. Oh, here we go. But it works and it's perfect. But the problem is it doesn't connect to other stuff. It only connects to the general app, which is a bit of a bummer. So if you guys find something, let me know and we'll build the exact same thing for that. This same approach will be used for your, what do you call it? Your floor variants. We'll wait till next year because everyone's going to have their ice in. So for next summer, we'll make it, you can go go do a floor evaluation on your own, either for these 29 points or 144 points, like what Zamboni does when they put in level ice, and you just go above or below your 0, and then we can have your floor variance and track your ice thickness on top of floor variance for all of your sheets of ice, whether we come out and do it for you or you do it yourself. That's done. I spoke about that because we went through a lot of stuff. Any questions or comments? Have I lost anyone, or have I overwhelmed anybody? Okay, good. I've got 1 or 2 more things. So that's everything to do with the software. That's pretty much all done. If you folks are interested, we are looking at hosting in-person Sub-Zero demos to local rinks around you. So we have 1 or 2 scheduled. We're tentatively planning one to go to the Sensplex. So Randy's been generous enough to give us the opportunity to host one this fall there. If any of you say, hey, we've got some rinks in our area and we have a local community of, 5, 10, 15 rinks, and if you want to come and do a presentation for a morning or an afternoon, we'd be happy to do so. That'd be a great opportunity. We are hosting a webinar. We just sent out an email today. I cannot find, let me find the email here actually. So if it's pretty much exactly what we went through, whether you want to join again or if you want to share it with some of your contacts, you're more than welcome to. Let's see if I can find it here. Here we go. So it's pretty much exactly what we went through today. Just chatting about how the system works, how the tool works. There'll be a bunch more updates, obviously, as time goes on. We are hosting, and some of you here have registered a asset management course. So if you're interested in registering, feel free. A number of spots have already started to fill up. So beyond just ice management for your buildings, you need to learn about how to collect your capital equipment inventory, doing PMs and tracking your level of service, risk evaluations on your equipment, and financial planning and depreciation and so on. If you'd like to register for this course, there is a fee associated to it. Feel free to reach out. We have not made this to the public available yet because it usually fills up within the first few days. If you'd like to learn more, we're making it available to our clients and customers first to register, so feel free. For our fan graphic map. I know I'll always forget something, but that's fine. Last thing, Rink IQ. This might be a shot in the dark. Here it is. We've put together, last year we put this together. We didn't do anything with it. It's a building survey. So all it is you go in once a year if you want, or just once, and you just fill in high level information about your facility. It's free of charge. You can be a customer. You don't have to be a customer. You fill this in as to how old your building is, any recent construction projects you've had, what's the value of the facility, what amenities do you have, what's the capacity, seating capacity, how many hours are you open, what programs do you offer, do you have accessibility features, do you have asset management and the energy efficiency projects? What's the cost to book an hour? Do you have any discounts for students or seniors? It takes like 10 minutes to fill it in. You add your building, your information. Then we can provide you with a simple and clean report and a dashboard to see trends and see how, let's say, your hourly fees compare to other buildings, or you have some energy, or maybe there's areas that you don't have that other buildings have on the accessibility side or hours of operation. If this is of interest for you guys to fill out and see how you can, not comparing buildings, but just on an aggregate basis, it's something we've built and we're looking at integrating with Sub-Zero and just for any rink to fill in. Feel free to let me know and we can expedite this and make this available. Anyways, that is everything I have to share. Folks, I thank you for your time. I know I said it was going to be a half hour and 15 minutes for questions. It took a little bit, about 45 minutes, but we do appreciate you guys being able to sit here, go through this, see the new features. So once your ice is in there, as you start to use this September onwards, you can hit the ground running with all these new features, the new login, potentially an app on the App Store in the near future. And we're really excited about where this tool is going. And our next user meeting in 2 or 3 months, there'll be even more new stuff to show you. Sounds good, folks?
Yep. Thanks, Zach.
Hey, Zach, question.
Yes.
On the ice flood cut log, is there a way of maybe adding like a box where we can just put comments or any notes So it's kind of like a pass on log in that area.
So you can already do that. Great question here in the note
Okay.
section, but we're releasing a new version potentially next week. That'll be outside of RFM and inside Sub-Zero. And I'll make sure that they add a note function. And you remind me, sorry, here, what we're also going to add is I think we've already added it, so it'll be available Tuesday, is a note box here for when you do your ice step checks. So on your tablet or your iPhone, your Bluetooth caliper will be connected, so you won't have a keyboard pop up. But if you click on it and then you click on the dictation icon on like an Apple device, you can talk and it'll fill in all that information. Then when you press save, it'll save that note with your ice step check. So if you say, hey, we're low in this area, or I noticed I can see the textile coming through. These are just horrible examples. That'll all done, save, and then you can see the note on the, sorry, because I switched the area too many times. Anyways, on the home page, we'll have a little widget that'll show all of the comments that are coming in from all the work that's being done on your staff, kind of like a sticky note board kind of thing that you can put on a TV. There'll be tons of stuff. Does that answer your question, Scott?
Yep, it's good.
Awesome. Andrew, did you like that point? Did that seem helpful? Okay, cool. Any other questions, group? Okay, that's it from me. We're gonna, this is recorded, so we're going to put this up on YouTube. You can share with others that weren't able to make it, either in your organization or nearby. If you say, hey, look, this is something we're using and more features coming out, happy to do so. I think all of you have your referrals and referral codes and know how that referral program works. So just happy to work with you guys and excited for where this is going to go over the next few months. Thank you, folks. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, thanks, Zach.
Thanks.
Good.
Bye.